Thank you for tuning in to 2B, Brain and Body, for today's lecture on core training. Now, when we hear core, and it's kind of a big buzzword, we've got to work the core, you hear that a lot. What most people are actually talking about when they refer to core training is they're talking about working abs, okay? They're talking about working the six-pack, the beach muscles that most people think of when they actually refer to core training. It's these muscles right here in front. It's actually called the rectus abdominis, but it's the muscles that run right down here. Core in and of itself really engages a lot more than just the six-pack beach muscles. Okay, it involves muscles on the side, it involves muscles in the back, it also involves muscles underneath that you'll never see, but that are really, really important to function and very important to performance. Okay, so really core training, when done properly, with where you're engaging all those different muscles, can really be one of your biggest assets, and it can be one of the best things that you can ever do for your appearance and also for your overall daily function. But one of my favorite acronyms, and one that I came up with based on the way that most people do core training, is core training can actually be capable of ruining everything as an acronym for core. Because what you really need to think of when you think about core training is you need to couple in the exercises that a lot of people do when they exercise, and then related to their lifestyle and how they spend the majority of their hours in a given day. Okay, so for example, I'm just going to sit right down here. So you think about, you wake up in the morning and you're having breakfast, okay, or you're having a cup of coffee, all right? Now, what I want you to focus on when I'm describing these things, I want you to look at my shoulders, I want you to look at my back, and I want you to see what kind of posture I'm in, just when I'm in a normal seated position like this, okay? So breakfast, lunch, dinner, you're probably in a position similar to this if you're having your coffee or if you're eating. All of a sudden you're driving to work, same type of thing, most people drive, okay? So you're in this position here. Same thing going on for my shoulders, same thing going on for my back. Now, depending on what your job is, a lot of people work on computers. I work on a computer. So for probably 8-9 hours a day, I'm in this position here. Hands are out in front, shoulders are still rounded, back is still rounded. I'm in this flexed, or what we call a protracted posture, where I'm leaning forward like so, okay? So when you think about all these different things, you add them all in together. Your breakfast, lunch, dinner, driving, how many days or how many hours a day, that you're working, you bring that all together and you think about how significant a number of hours that is, not only on a daily basis, but also on a weekly basis. Okay? And then you think of the way that most people train core, which we'll get to in a second, it can really, really be problematic for whatever it is that you're trying to do in terms of your goals. Okay? So let's just talk a little bit about muscles and kind of some basic principles of muscles. Okay? So when you're in a gym and you're working a muscle and you're strengthening that muscle, what happens to a muscle when it gets stronger is it actually gets shorter. Okay? It gets stronger, gets shorter, it gets tighter, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just really, really difficult to maintain the same level of flexibility when a muscle is getting significantly stronger. Okay? So that's one thing that you need to think about in regards to how you're working muscles. Okay? So you think about the posture that we just described before that most people spend a lot of hours a day in, and then you couple that in with some of the traditional exercises that people do when they go into their gym or their local health club. All right, I see people working chest a lot. A lot of times people will work what we call the anterior muscles here in front, or the muscles that people can see in the mirror. So let's say you go into a gym and your first exercise is you're going to do something for chest. Okay, so you can do push-ups this way, you can do a dumbbell chest press, you can do a barbell bench press. But when you think about the pectorals, or your chest muscles that run like this, what actually happens when those get significantly tighter is they actually, or significantly stronger I should say, they actually tighten, they shorten, and it actually pulls your shoulders forward a little bit. This way, okay? So you get done with doing your first set, or your couple sets of chest, and you decide you're going to go and you want to work biceps, because you want to have good-looking arms, right? So biceps come down, attach just below the elbow, come up to the scapula, and what they actually do when your biceps get significantly stronger and you add some tone to your arms is they can actually bring you in this way, okay? or actually internally rotate you, and same thing, bring you a little bit forward. Okay? So now you've got short, tight chest muscles pulling you in, short, tight biceps internally rotating you, and now you decide you want to work those beach muscles, right? You got to get that six-pack, okay? So we decide we're gonna work our rectus abdominis here. So we're gonna do crunches, all right? Whether it's on a ball, on a BOSU, just on a mat on the ground, any way that it might be done, you're gonna go and you're gonna crunch here. So you've got chest pulling you in, biceps internally rotating you. Now all of a sudden your rectus abdominis, your abs get a little bit short and tight too, and you're just more and more in this posture. So you're really just exacerbating the type of posture that you're already in for X number of hours a day based on what your lifestyle is. Okay? So I'm not saying that these three examples of exercises and body parts are necessarily wrong. I'm just saying that if that's all you're doing in conjunction with your lifestyle, it can be really, really problematic. You think about it from a performance standpoint. 2B works with a lot of triathletes, okay? Swimming, you got to think of, you want to be in a good plank posture in the water. Basically, you press your lungs down, it brings your legs up so you can swim parallel or on the top of the water. It's really tough to do that if you're a little bit lean forward this way. Biking's the same way. If you're down here and you're biking, you're flexed forward, your lungs aren't going to be able to expand as much. You're not going to be able to get as much air into them. Running, same type of thing. As you get fatigued, as your lower back starts to get fatigued, you're going to be running more and more like this. Okay? What that's going to do is it brings your center of gravity forward, puts more stress on your knees, puts more stress on your ankles, puts more stress on your shins, and also your IT bands. It can lead to a world of problems. And then you think about if you're a non-performance person and just have more general fitness and aesthetic-based goals, it's not really helping you much either to be in one of these positions. And so just to kind of recap what we talked about, you think of muscles getting short and tight as they get a little bit stronger, and as you work the muscles, the mirror muscles that most people see. Couple that with the hours spent in your lifestyle, it can just really, really be capable of ruining everything that you're really going towards. Okay? So actually the second lecture on core training by 2B is going to be examples of some different exercises that you can do that are going to work against gravity or work against what you're doing, in the lifestyle, to actually take you from here and to pull you back and to really improve that posture so you can be standing up nice and tall and you can really, really be looking good from a function standpoint and from a performance standpoint. So thank you for tuning in to 2B Brain and Body for the first lecture on core training, and look forward to seeing you again soon.